Why does Play Dirty feel like a missed opportunity despite its star-studded cast and seasoned director? This question lingers throughout Shane Black's latest heist thriller, where Mark Wahlberg's performance struggles to ignite the screen, leaving the film feeling like a tired rehash of familiar crime capers. But here's where it gets controversial. Why do streaming platforms keep investing huge budgets in projects that seem like recycled versions of stories we've seen countless times before? And why does a film with such potential end up looking so uninspired and flat? Amazon Prime's Play Dirty, despite its flashy action and notable names, feels like a dusty relic pulled from the back of a drawer. Even though production only began in 2022, and perhaps the most baffling question of all, how is Mark Wahlberg still considered a leading movie star? The film is based on the iconic Parker series of crime novels by Donald E. Westlake, who wrote under the pseudonym Richard Stark. These 24 gritty books about a ruthless professional thief named Parker have long challenged filmmakers. The most memorable adaptation remains John Boorman's 1967 Point Blank, starring Lee Marvin, who played a character renamed Walker due to rights issues. Over the years, actors like Robert Duvall, Jim Brown, Peter Coyote, Mel Gibson, and Jason Statham have all taken a shot at portraying Parker, each bringing their own flavor to the role. Play Dirty, the bottom line. Just play dead. Release date, Wednesday, October 1st. Cast, Mark Wahlberg, Lakeith Stanfield, Rosa Salazar, Keegan-Michael Key, Chukwudi Iwuji, Nat Wolff, Thomas Jane, Tony Shalhoub, Claire Lovering, Chai Hansen. Director, Shane Black. Screenwriters, Shane Black, Charles Mondry, Anthony Bagarozzi. Based on the Parker book series by Richard Stark. Rating, R. 2 hours 5 minutes. Knowing that Robert Downey Jr. was initially attached as an executive producer when the project was first developed under Joel Silver's production company, it's hard not to imagine how Black's typically sharp and witty dialogue might have played out with Downey's signature sarcastic charm. Instead, Wahlberg, who has shown limited charisma in recent roles since The Departed and The Fighter, delivers a performance that feels lackluster, especially when contrasted with Lakeith Stanfield's effortlessly captivating presence. Stanfield steals nearly every scene with his natural flair and irreverent energy, making Wahlberg's Parker seem even more subdued. But Wahlberg isn't the only problem. The screenplay, penned by Black alongside Charles Mondry and Anthony Bagarozzi, crafts an original story inspired by the Parker universe rather than adapting a single novel. For nearly the entire bloated 2-hour runtime, Black keeps the pace frantic, seemingly hoping viewers won't notice the scattered and often illogical plot developments. The film kicks off with Parker and his crew executing what appears to be a routine heist, complete with snappy one-liners as they make off with bags of cash. However, the robbery takes an unexpected turn when an employee, arriving with his family, realizes what's happening and cheekily declares, "This is perfect. I'm going to rob the robbers." Parker doesn't take kindly to this interference, leading to a chaotic chase that crashes through a horse racing track, resulting in destruction and casualties before Parker recovers the loot. To soften Parker's otherwise cold, mercenary nature, the writers give him a flicker of conscience. He tosses $10,000 to the stranger's wife before making his escape. But the surprises don't end there. A new recruit named Zen, played by Rosa Salazar, betrays Parker's crew by shooting them and absconding with the remaining cash. One of the fallen robbers is Parker's longtime partner, Philly Webb, Thomas Jane, whose widow, Grace, Gretchen Mole, is skeptical when Parker promises to recover Philly's share and avenge his death. From here, the film dives headfirst into Black's familiar territory of twists, double crosses, swagger, and clumsy yet somehow successful maneuvers. Unlike Westlake's cold, cynical prose, Black leans heavily into humor, which may delight some but feels out of sync with the source material's tone. Zen is revealed to be a highly trained soldier from the elite guard of a Latin American country, now turned freedom fighter opposing the corrupt dictator Ignacio de la Paz, Alejandro Eda. The plot thickens around a sunken Spanish galleon carrying a jewel-encrusted figurehead called the Lady of Errantero, a treasure that could erase the nation's debt and end poverty. De La Paz plans to steal this artifact during its UN exhibition and sell it to British billionaire Phineas Paul Chukwudi Iwuji, who brings a stiff yet amusing Mark Cuban cameo to the screen. Salazar shines in action sequences, showcasing her character's skills as a fearless driver, formidable fighter, and expert marksman. However, her repeated references to my country become tiresome, prompting the viewer to silently plead, "Just name it already." After gaining Zen's trust, or at least pretending to, Parker assembles a new team to pull off a heist against the heist itself. This means outwitting not only De La Paz's henchmen, but also the Outfit, a New York mob led by Lazzini, Tony Shalhoub, who reacts with icy disdain upon hearing Parker's name. The two share a fraught history, including an uneasy truce where Parker agreed to stay out of New York in exchange for his life. Parker's first recruit is Alan Stanfield, a criminal who funds his passion for Illinois Regional Experimental Theater with his illicit earnings. This quirky detail leads to a few jokes about Grofield's acting skills aiding his criminal endeavors, but the subplot feels underdeveloped. Still, Stanfield's playful wit and effortlessly cool style make you wish the film focused more on Grofield than Parker. Other team members include veteran art thieves Ed and Brenda Mackey, Keegan-Michael Key, and Claire Lovering, whose banter provides some comic relief, and the unreliable getaway driver Stan, Chai Hansen, who breaks into spontaneous hip-hop dance moves to Boney M just for fun. By prioritizing the caper's comedic and chaotic elements over the intricate plotting that defines Westlake's novels, Black diminishes the stakes of a heist involving stopping a speeding New York subway garbage train and breaking into a supposedly impregnable Brooklyn vault. Instead, the film unfolds like a series of car crashes and urban mayhem, lacking depth or emotional engagement. There's a half-hearted attempt to explore Lazzini's crisis over his mob becoming too corporate and losing its criminal edge, but even Tony Shalhoub's talents can't salvage this subplot. The main purpose of the Outfit storyline is to introduce Nat Wolff as a bumbling underworld figure who contrasts with Stan's character, laughing off Lazzini's scorn but ultimately failing to escape Parker's chaos unscathed. Despite the involvement of skilled professionals like composer Alan Silvestri, cinematographer Philippe Rousselot, and production designer Owen Patterson, Play Dirty delivers more noise than genuine energy or style. It never quite captures the fun the filmmakers seem to believe it has. Though it's technically a holiday movie, ending with Parker and Grofield wandering through the New Year's Eve aftermath in Times Square, or whatever mix of physical sets and CGI was created during the Australian shoot, it leaves you wondering, wait, was this supposed to be a buddy comedy? So here's the big question for you. Does Play Dirty represent a missed chance to revitalize a classic crime saga, or is it just another example of Hollywood's safe, uninspired approach to streaming content? And what do you think about Wahlberg's place in today's film landscape? Still a star or past his prime? Share your thoughts below. Let's get the debate going.